George Mack discusses the concept of the busy trap, which is the idea that people are busy today because they were busy yesterday, and they'll be busy tomorrow because they're busy today. It's a never-ending cycle of busyness. He notes that Google Trends data shows the word busy has been increasing in usage by about 10% each year since 2004. Mack quotes Amos Tversky, who said, "You waste years by not being able to waste hours." This highlights the importance of having free time to ask bigger questions and focus on high-priority tasks rather than constantly being occupied with less important work. The busy trap is a default state for many people because there are only 16 waking hours in a day, but the amount of potential activities and digital content has increased exponentially. People often learn in school to do work without questioning its importance, which carries over into adulthood. Mack suggests that the number one test for being too busy is not knowing what the most important question or focus should be at any given time. Signs of being too busy include feeling exhausted at the end of the day without accomplishing anything significant, constantly needing to stay busy, and falling into the activity trap where inputs don't necessarily lead to meaningful outputs. Mack emphasizes the importance of focusing on outcomes rather than just activities. The conversation shifts to discussing energy management and productivity. Mack argues that it's crucial to proactively schedule activities that increase energy and defend against those that decrease it. He uses the analogy of a business, where revenue tends to decrease and costs increase naturally, requiring active management. During stressful periods, people often cut out energy-boosting activities, which is counterproductive. The podcast touches on the idea that there's no such thing as being overworked, only underrested. This concept emphasizes the importance of proper rest and recovery in maintaining productivity. Mack mentions historical figures like Winston Churchill, who took multiple naps throughout the day to maintain their energy levels during intense work periods. A recurring theme in the conversation is the difference between hidden and observable metrics. Many people optimize for easily measurable outcomes, such as the number of emails sent or tasks completed, rather than focusing on less quantifiable but more important factors like quality of life, clear thinking, and opportunities for leverage. This can lead to sacrificing what truly matters for the sake of appearing productive. While hard work is often praised as a reliable route to success, Mack and the host discuss the importance of balancing hard work with strategic thinking and leveraging higher impact activities. They argue that optimizing exclusively for hard work can cause people to miss out on more effective, less painful routes to achieving their goals. Examples of high-leverage activities include focused reading and writing, going for walks without distractions, and having meaningful conversations with friends and colleagues. Mack shares his perspective that adults don't exist, meaning that people often place undue respect and authority in others they perceive as having everything figured out. He argues that this mindset can be limiting and that recognizing everyone is essentially a grown-up child can lead to more agency and self-reliance. This realization can help people overcome the tendency to defer to perceived authority figures and instead trust their own judgment and capabilities. The concept of subprime audiences is introduced, drawing a parallel to the subprime mortgage crisis. Mack explains that many content creators and influencers have built audiences based on content they themselves wouldn't consume, leading to a mismatch between the creator and their followers. This can result in a lack of authenticity and long-term satisfaction for both parties. The discussion emphasizes the importance of creating content that aligns with one's own interests and values, even if it means potentially sacrificing short-term metrics like views or likes. Mack introduces the idea of strategic ignorance, which involves being intentional about what information to consume and what to ignore. In a world of constant information overload, it's impossible to stay informed about everything. Strategic ignorance means choosing to focus on areas that are most relevant and impactful to one's life and goals, rather than trying to keep up with every trending topic or news story. The podcast delves into the crucial role of incentives in shaping behavior and outcomes. Mack argues that incentives are often under-discussed when analyzing societal issues or individual behaviors. Understanding the incentives at play can provide valuable insights into why people and systems behave the way they do. The conversation includes examples of how changing incentive structures can dramatically alter outcomes, such as improving delivery times or increasing survival rates during prisoner transport. The term sausage fest is used to describe all-male gatherings, which Mack argues are undervalued in society. He discusses the importance of maintaining close friendships, particularly for men, as they age and take on more responsibilities. The conversation touches on how neglecting these friendships can contribute to loneliness and mental health issues, especially in the context of divorce or other life changes. Mack emphasizes the value of having spaces where people can express their authentic selves without judgment, even if it means engaging in activities or conversations that might seem unappealing to romantic partners. Mack introduces the concept of non-fungible humans, drawing a parallel to non-fungible tokens, NFTs. He argues that the most interesting and valuable people in our lives are those who are unique and irreplaceable. Characteristics of non-fungible humans include having their own language or isms, generating memorable stories, and living authentically. The discussion emphasizes the importance of embracing one's own uniqueness rather than trying to conform to societal expectations. The podcast explores the concepts of Asch negative and Asch positive individuals based on the Asch conformity experiments. Asch negative people are those who are willing to go against group consensus and stand by their own perceptions or beliefs, while Asch positive individuals tend to conform to the majority opinion, even if it contradicts their own observations. The conversation highlights the value of cultivating Asch negative traits to maintain independence of thought and avoid blindly following the crowd. Mack shares an observation that only unusual or eccentric behaviors tend to be remembered and celebrated in the long run. He argues that attempts to fit in and suppress one's unique traits often result in being forgotten, while embracing individuality leads to leaving a lasting impression. The discussion encourages listeners to embrace their quirks and idiosyncrasies rather than trying to conform to societal norms. Throughout the conversation, the value of authenticity in relationships and content creation is emphasized. Mack and the host discuss how people often appreciate hearing genuine thoughts and opinions, even if they don't align with what they want to hear. They argue that maintaining authenticity, despite the potential for short-term discomfort or rejection, leads to more meaningful connections and a more fulfilling life in the long run. The podcast touches on the importance of maintaining friendships and individual interests even while in romantic relationships. Mack discusses how dedicating time to same-sex friendships and personal pursuits can actually benefit romantic relationships by allowing partners to maintain their individuality and have outlets for interests that may not be shared by their significant other. The conversation with George Mack covers a wide range of topics related to productivity, personal growth, and social dynamics. Key takeaways include the importance of avoiding the busy trap, focusing on meaningful outputs rather than just activities, embracing authenticity and individuality, and maintaining diverse social connections. The discussion encourages listeners to think critically about societal norms, question assumptions about authority and adulthood, and prioritize activities and relationships that align with their true selves and long-term goals.